Last weekend I went record shopping and I think I bought the worst record to ever add to my collection. Let me show you what I bought. We'll see if it's really that bad. Okay, like I said last weekend, I went record shopping, which I do most every weekend. And I was flipping through all the bins and I went through the exotica bin, which is one of my favorites because you just never know what kind of weird stuff you're going to find. And I stumbled on a record and I thought, I have to own this. And I don't really know why, but I just had to buy it. I got it home, played it, and it is, I can't tell if it's the worst record I own or maybe the best. So let me tell you what record it is. It's Music to Grow Plants, presented by Dr. George Milstein. That's right. Just look at how happy that guy is right there. So yeah, I was flipping through the bins and I came across this, and once I saw this cover, I knew I just had to have it and bring it home and listen to what it sounded like. Oddly enough, once I got it home, I realized that this actually kind of sells on Discogs. So the lowest that it's ever sold is $9. It's sold, but it's sold as high as $40, which I think is interesting. So I paid $10 for it, which may be way too high, and people might think I'm crazy, but I'm kind of at that point in my record collecting career, if you will, where the weirder the better, right? So anyway, had to have it, brought it home. This record came out in 1970, and when it was originally released and sealed, it actually came with an instruction booklet inside, which my copy does not have, and a pack of seeds, so plant seeds. So I guess you could plant your seeds and then play this record for the seeds and, just see if it improved the growth of the plants. So let me talk about this for a minute. There's no song titles on here. There's really not even song tracks. Each side is just its own side, and you just play it through, right? So, you just drop the needle, goes right through, and the music changes, but it's not like a really, to me, there are periods where the music kind of fades out, which I'll explain, which is kind of weird in a minute. But for the most part, there's no song titles. You just drop the needle and let it play through. Now, here is the most interesting thing about this record, which is what potentially I'm saying might be the worst record, is because when you're listening to this album, the first thing you notice when you drop the needle is a really high-pitched frequency noise. I mean, it's like beep, like even higher than that. And at first I thought, well, that's weird. But then throughout the record, you can still kind of hear that frequency. And I just threw the record on. I didn't really read anything about this record or even the information on the back, which would have been helpful in regards to this frequency pitch. But you can still kind of hear it through the music. And then as each song sort of, even though I said it's like one song on the majority of the album, the tracks still kind of fade in and out. And when they do fade in and out, that frequency pitch is still at the same tone and you can still hear it, right? And so the music will fade out and you still hear this, and then the next song comes in and it's kind of covered up, but you can still kind of hear it. So what I realized is when I was reading the back of this, the last paragraph basically explains what they're doing. And the idea is basically that frequency is set to stimulate the plants, almost sort of wake them up, if you will. And then the music starts playing, which I guess once the plants are awake, then they enjoy the music and they better grow. I don't know. I'm doing my best here to figure out what's going on. But let me read you the last paragraph of this. I think it'll explain it a little bit. It says, as a result of present study, we were able to produce a sound which acts upon plant growth patterns. These sounds have been electronically embedded in this record. Every effort has been made to camouflage them. However, you may at times hear certain high frequency tones that could not be hidden completely. For best results, this record should be played daily. The music, which has been systematically selected and prepared, is also most enjoyable for listening. Your plants and hopefully you will be brightened by the sounds of this album. And then I love this right here, patent pending. Anyway, that tone is I would not say it's necessarily camouflaged. I mean, just imagine dropping a needle on a record and immediately hearing a high frequency tone that stays throughout both sides of the music. Like, you're gonna hear it. It doesn't go away. So that's why I'm wondering, like, is this sort of the worst record? Because I thought it would just kind of be like cheesy, like elevator type music, and it kind of is. And that kind of brings me to my next point. Like, there is really no like artist information or musician information or anything on here. It basically says it's produced by Music to Grow Plants Inc., created by Les Harstein, and with the cover photograph by Abby Hyman. So I don't really know where they got this music from. Like, this is what makes me curious about this album. Like, did they hire musicians for this? Did they go into a studio and spend a bunch of money to actually like write and record music for this? Or is this just music that they licensed, you know, like, is it just sort of classical elevator type music that they licensed from other projects and sort of crammed it all together, you know, under this Music to Grow Plants? Because, you know, you always hear like classical music helps plants grow, but if you play like death metal, the plants will die. I think that's what I remember from high school when they were trying to convince us not to listen to heavy metal music. But so yeah, the music on here is just sort of got like a real bland, like elevator kind of type sound to it. And, you know, like I said, it just kind of plays through with dips and valleys, which is when that crazy high frequency tone comes back. Now, what's interesting is when I bought this, the kind lady at the record store reminded me that this isn't the most rare plants record, if you will. I'm trying to horticulture genre. I don't know. I'm stretching it here, but actually, what would have been great is if I had found the original copy of Mort Garson's Mother Earth's Plantasia from 1976, which the original version, the original copies of that record are sort of through the roof. Like, I think the lowest it sold is $78, with one selling up like around $250 for like the original OG version. Now, it's actually been reissued by Sacred Bones Records in 2019 and 2019 and 2020. But even those reissues are, you know, they're fetching, you know, $60, $80 plus. But that was another sort of popular record that was made to help plants grow. And I guess maybe Dr. George here was not able to get this patent. So other people were able to make plants records. Speaking of that, it occurred to me I actually do have another album in my collection about plants, and that's probably what a lot of people have, which is Stevie Wonder's Journey Through the Secret Life of Plants, which I found recently at a thrift store for $2 and couldn't pass it up. You know, this is a double LP. You know, look at how happy the plants make Stevie there. And, you know, so Dr. George, unfortunately, you're not the only plant-based, just dropped that record there. You're not the only plant-based album in my collection, and I honestly have to say you're not the worst album in my collection either. It's just, you know, like I said, that high-frequency tone really surprised me. Anyway, just wanted to post a video about this goofy album. You know, it's not every day you stumble across one, but you know, like I said, the more records I collect, kind of the weirder ones I like to add to the collection. And it's going to be interesting when people go through the collection, you know, many years from now, and they see all these great things, and then they're going to be like, what? What is this? What was he thinking? What am I going to do with this, you know? But hey, there can't be that many of these still floating around, right? So maybe they'll have something rare. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments if you found anything weird like this, you know, that you've added to your collection, and if they've turned out to be great or awful. I find that even if they're slightly awful, it's still fun to have in the collection. If you enjoyed this video, please like it. It's just basically going to help spread it around to other vinyl nerds talking about our record collections. All right, thanks for watching.